Hello, hello, I am Heather, aka Planner Mumsy. Join me for an unboxing and a first impressions. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, so I haven't done a fountain pen unboxing first impressions video for a little while, and I decided I was gonna go ahead and do one for this. This is sort of an impulse buy that I purchased from Yoseka Stationery. I was surprised to see that they actually had this in stock. It wasn't 100% the one that I wanted, but I know that the one that I want, the chances of me ever getting it are slim to none because it was such a limited pen. So I went with this one as like a good consolation prize. I've talked about this before in a lot of my fountain pen videos. This is one of my absolute favorite fountain pens for everyday writing, like even in my journals and stuff like that. Maybe not necessarily long form writing if I am writing for a long period of time. I have a number of other pens, and the ink capacity of this one isn't like super high. That would be another reason why I wouldn't use it for long form writing. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what I got. Well, obviously you can see on the box it says Pilot. So if you watch my channel, there's a good chance that you have an idea of what this is. All right. And she was jostled around a little bit in shipping, but here she is. The thing that kind of blew me away that was left in stock for this one was that they still had a broad nib, which I was so ecstatic about because broad is my absolute favorite, and especially in the Pilot VPs because they tend to be really skinny, like their nibs tend to be really thin for my liking. I really like broad, fat, like Jowo nibs where, you know, it's just so juicy when you're writing it. These ones do, obviously it's a completely, you know, different type of nib, so it does tend to be a lot thinner of a writer. Now, we'll talk just for a quick second. The pen that I really wanted, and I will insert a picture of it up here. One of the girls that I follow on IG has it, and that's the one that I really wanted, but it was sold out everywhere by the time I knew it was even being launched, and it was not going to happen. And I have a couple of dealers that have it like on their radar to nab up if they can find one for me, but I just don't have any vain notions that I'll get my hands on that one for a decent price, because I'm also not someone that's gonna pay an exorbitant amount for the limited edition ones. I still want to pay close to retail, so I'm not gonna buy a pen like this on the secondary market because it would be marked up so high, and it's just not worth it to me. But this one is similar in the sense of this one is gradient, whereas that one isn't. That's like an all one color. But this one does have some of like those taupey undertones here. Maybe not so much on the brown side, the one that I showed has, but then it kind of goes from like a gray taupe to a gray at the bottom. Yeah, you can see a little bit how it sort of gradients to the gray there. And it's definitely, I'm just kind of looking at it from afar. No, I mean, it's pretty gray. I mean, it's definitely less taupe than it's coming off on camera. It's definitely more on the gray side of it. But I still think this one is really pretty. And the broad nibs on these are definitely wider and thicker. I think so. Of course, they're completely different nibs as far as, you know, plating and rhodium and blah, blah, blah. But if I can get my camera to focus this, you can kind of see the one on the right has a finer tip, whereas the one on the left is definitely more triangular and fatter, like more bulbous on the end. And I don't know if we'll be able to get this on the camera in the side view. There we go. Okay, so you can see the profile from the side. The one on the left is also definitely more rounded on the tip. So that's really the difference that you're gonna see with, and it's a fairly subtle difference, so you don't always see it a whole lot in the writing as well either. I do happen to notice it just because I'm much more of a broad, juicy nib kind of person. I happen to pull this up, and what I noticed is this particular pen actually does come with the Con 40, and so I don't need to purchase a new one for that. So that's cool, because a lot of times I don't get those and it just comes like this. And again, you can make it work, but I'm not a huge fan of using that because it's kind of just like using a cartridge, but it can get airbound. It can be used. It's just not ideal. This is what is more ideal. And let me see if I can, there you go. So you can see that this is how you can purchase these. You can get them, I know, from Goulet pens. They're just called the Con 40s. And this is what we're going to actually use to ink this baby up. So this is what I mean by, this is why I really don't use these pens for long form writing a whole lot. Can you see why? That's your ink capacity from, oops, I'm out of frame. Sorry about that. From, let's see, from here to here is your ink capacity. So that's pretty low. So you are refilling these quite a bit when you use it like this, versus if you do use this kind of essentially like in a way, it's like an eyedropper type way of using it. If you use this, you can see that you would get a whole lot more ink in that one, but you do risk it leaking more, and you do risk it being airbound more, and you do risk it just not working right. You know, it's not like super made to use these, but you can see why they work. And this is the Con 40 on this side, and this is the little plastic piece that it comes with. They are the exact same diameter, they're the exact same shape, and so it will work. It's just not, in my opinion, a lot of times it's not super ideal. But you can also see the cartridge that they send, the ink cartridge that they send, looks exactly the same. So this particular one, with this particular plastic, I mean, it's essentially the same. So I'm just saying you can use either one. If it doesn't come with the Con 40, then you can use this, but we are, for this video, going to go ahead and use the Con 40 just because I prefer it. So there's that. Okay, so now let me pick an ink and I'll come back and we'll ink it up. Okay. You would think it would be easy for me to pick ink, but no, it never is, because I can't make up my mind when I'm choosing an ink. I'm not one of those people that really feels the need to match my inks, but I was checking to see if I had more of a brown type of color that didn't have shimmer, and I don't have any that are just like flat color without shimmer, and you really can't use shimmer inks with the Pilot pens, in my opinion. It just clogs up the nib too much. So yeah, I just don't usually use it. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and use this Con 40. You can kind of see it's a very bright kind of mauve-y type of color. So I decided to go with that. So like I said, that was Ferris Wheel Press. The name of this one is Lights on Broadway. Pilot. The Decimo VP. It has the teensiest bit of feedback, if you can hear that, but it writes really, really well right out of the box. So I really don't think I'm going to need to tune anything. I don't. No need to tune. No, I mean, it writes really, really well. Pilot Decimo Vanishing Point pen in the broad nib. This does have a specific name, the Kobe Gradation. Gradation? I'm not sure. Pen, and it says Kaigon Stone Gray, and it is a Nagasawa 2024 limited edition. That is the pen, and it writes so well. I am liking it, and I'm gonna really like adding this to my collection. I think I'll do a video with the Pilot VPs that I have. I don't have a huge collection. I just have a handful of them, but I think I might do a full video on that, so stay tuned. And otherwise, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!